YouTube, literally minutes ago at the time of me recording this video, the breaking news was just announced that JJ Redick has agreed to a 4-year deal that will make him the Lakers' next head coach. I literally recorded a video earlier today about the subject, but this was before it happened, so I guess this could easily mean that LeBron is not leaving LA, so that is definitely something to note. All of my thoughts and feelings towards this situation still apply, so I am gonna just kind of briefly go over the updated version and then send you guys into the video that I recorded earlier in the day. It all applies to this situation, trust me. So obviously incredible, big time news. And I do think this means LeBron will likely stay in LA. I think that's, a clear indicator of that is that now his, friend and podcast partner will be his head coach. And I think that could be seen as a move by Rob Pelinka to get LeBron to stay around. Just, one of the many things that I think are going to happen in this offseason geared to keeping LeBron happy in LA. With that, I'll give you my thoughts on the situation in the previous recording I did. Again, all these, same things apply. They might be a little bit like future tense, like statements. Like, for example, I could be saying like, if this happens, blah, 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 right? Or the Lakers should target this type of coach, right? So those statements obviously are going to be different from the situation we know now, but they still do apply to the situation. Hopefully you guys can forgive me. I'm running a tight schedule here and, I don't have a ton of time in the world to re-record that video. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Now we can finally get into the video. See you guys in there. YouTube, with LeBron James set to have a big decision whether or not to accept or decline his 2025 player option for the Los Angeles Lakers. He could become an unrestricted free agent. And with the recent firing of Darvin Ham for the Lakers as the head coach, there has been a ton of speculations, almost, finished signed deals and reported leaks over the past few days that the Lakers have made for their, next head coach. It's been kind of a mess in my opinion. And the UConn coach, Dan Hurley, came up obviously as someone that the Lakers had talked to and offered a contract to and stuff like that. That kind of broke through. It was kind of reported to be almost a done deal, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't working out and the negotiations dropped. JJ Redick has undoubtedly been a name that you've heard throughout the past few weeks, since the Darvin Ham firing, of maybe potentially, beginning a head coaching career in the NBA and starting with the Los Angeles Lakers, right? The question I'm going to ask for you guys in this video, and really just the kind of whole point of this video, is JJ Redick the right choice for the Los Angeles Lakers vacant head coach position? That's what I want to talk about in this video. Let's get into it, folks. So as a Philadelphia 76ers fan, I can only say great things about JJ Redick. He's one of my favorite Sixers ever. Love his podcast, one of the best, NBA media personalities we have right now. Really smart, intelligent guy, bright guy, understands the game, has his own, podcast network, works on ESPN, covered the finals as a broadcaster. He's been pretty busy post NBA career, right? Not only that, he was a pretty solid player, right? Great, all-time great shooter, in my opinion. Definitely one of the best shooters of this generation, one of the best shooters I've ever seen. And like I said, I think he just has a way of connecting with people in regards to the game of basketball, right? So like I said, I've learned a lot from JJ Redick just watching his podcast, right? He's a really smart guy. And again, I think he sees the game in a way that would, definitely lend itself to being a good head coach in the NBA, right? As far as this Lakers job, right? That's kind of the whole point of this video. I'm kind of conflicted on that. I'm just going to put it all out there right now on my take on it. Maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments what you think, but from all I hear about, Dan Hurley, I've only heard great things about him and how the Lakers, really should have pursued him, which they did. Apparently he turned down their offer. They offered him a bag as well, like an 8-year contract, $100 million or something crazy like that, right? I don't really watch college basketball, so I don't really know, but everyone says he is an NBA ready coach and would make a fantastic coach of the Lakers. So unfortunate they couldn't get that deal done. And now, everybody's talking about JJ Redick. As I displayed early in the video, I am a fan of JJ Redick. Part of me thinks this would be a really good move for the Lakers, and part of me thinks it could be a disaster for the Lakers and JJ Redick in his coaching career. Let me explain the positive side of it, right? Part of me, from watching JJ Redick so much in interviews and, his interactions with young players and any players really on his podcasts, and he seems to be really good at, being able to form relationships with players. He seems to be a guy that would handle that personality management and relationship management and, team chemistry and morale aspect of coaching really well. He seems like a guy that could get that done pretty well. Seems like a guy that can read people, understand people, where they're coming from. He's pretty pro player on a lot of the issues, and I think that would help in his locker room endeavors. But so, that is, like I said, probably 50%, maybe even more than 50% of what coaching is in the NBA. Everything I hear about coaching in the NBA, it's basically like, being a head coach is 70% just relationship management, ego management, all that, personal, like locker room stuff, like people management, right? And the other 30% is like X's and O's strategies, right? And stuff like that. So I think JJ Redick would be able to nail both of those things, right? That's why I think he could be such a good head coach. So I'm not doubting his, ability to be a good head coach in the NBA or, even a great one. I think he could be a great one. And I think his player relationships already could carry into a certain team like the Lakers to help him even further. We know LeBron and him are friends now. They have their own podcast. It's a great podcast, by the way. Check it out if you guys haven't already. I'm a huge LeBron fan, so, I'll watch anything he's on. But that's kind of the issue I might have with this, hire, right? There's a clear conflict of interest with this situation, and that is his relationship with LeBron James. We know they're kind of friend status, right? And they have a, podcast together, which is a business endeavor, which is, a media outlet, right? So there's a clear conflict of interest there. Imagine you're the coach of the Lakers and you're coaching LeBron, right? And then maybe you guys have a disagreement or something, the game prior, or you have a bad loss, and then you're supposed to go on a podcast and talk as kind of like friends, or I don't know, like it's just kind of a weird dynamic that I could see playing out. And also, like they said, the business aspect of it, I think that podcast would probably have to stop going on. That would just be a bad look a lot of times. What if they lose in a bad way or something like that, or they're dealing with stuff in the locker room and then they go on that podcast and they're expected to just talk hoops for a while, like unrelated to the Lakers. I don't know, man, it's kind of weird. And again, it's a conflict of interest. But the other part of me, like I said, thinks JJ Redick would make a fantastic coach in this league. And then I just think, maybe both of those things are true. Maybe he would be a fantastic coach in the league. Maybe there's a conflict of interest with LeBron and his relationship with some of the Lakers. And then my, conclusion would be, I think JJ Redick would be a fantastic coach in this league and really has everything it takes, but maybe just not for the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Like maybe that's just not the right fit and the right team for him to start his career. I mean, first of all, take out all the, extra stuff that I just mentioned, right? If any first-year head coach in the NBA takes over a team like the Lakers right now, you are expected to win day one, right? Like there can be no growing pains. There can be no adjustment period for a new head coach in a situation like that. LeBron is 39 years old. The Lakers are expected to win. Laker Nation won't accept anything other than greatness, right? And they shouldn't, especially with the way this team's constructed. This is a win now roster. This is a 1 year all in type roster that, the Lakers have to be employing this season. And if you bring in a first year head coach, why would you not get a guy that's more experienced that could maybe, help this team through some more things? I know as far as LeBron led teams, coaches aren't always, the biggest deal in the world. Obviously you want a great coach, but at the end of the day, LeBron's kind of an on-court coach himself, right? He's been through every situation that you could possibly be in the NBA a million times, and he learns from it, right? That's part of what makes him so great, right? And JJ Redick too, all his playing experience. But something that comes to mind is a guy like Steve Nash. Remember when Steve Nash took over the Brooklyn Nets, and his first year and his first couple years were kind of a mess, right? It seemed like the players didn't really respect him in Brooklyn. It seemed like, maybe he just wasn't the greatest head coach in the NBA, and part of that could have been the fit with the Nets and, managing some of those guys' egos and stuff like that. But also, they could have just used a more experienced coach in that situation. And, it's impossible to live up to that pressure as a first-year head coach. The only first-year head coach that I think, really nailed his job, there's a couple that come to mind, but the first one is Coach Nick Nurse for my 76ers. If you guys remember, I believe he might even be the only first-year head coach in NBA history to win a finals championship in 2019 with the Raptors. There's got to be another one, but he comes to mind immediately, right? Like Coach Nurse takes over, they get Kawhi Leonard, they win the championship, but that's Coach Nurse, like he is a special type of coach, and not that JJ Redick wouldn't be, but I'm just saying that situation really kind of sets itself up for failure a lot of times. Anytime you're coaching LeBron James, you're gonna have so much expectations. Tyronn Lue might have been a first-year head coach when he won with Cleveland, now that I think about it. Can't remember, but Joe Mazzulla, he's a second-year head coach that just won recently with the Boston Celtics. Had a pretty great first year as a head coach. It is possible, and I think JJ Redick is that smart and bright as a guy to be able to lead an NBA team as high as it can go and maximize the talent on the roster. But I'm just saying, there's so much extra media attention that's gonna be brought on this, in regards to LeBron and JJ's friendship, that if certain things don't work out, it's just gonna be a really bad look for the organization, for LeBron and JJ Redick, all respectively. So I guess my answer to this question would be no. I don't think JJ Redick's the right guy for this job. I think he could make a really great head coach, and I think he will someday if he ever decides to, pursue that. He could get a job a lot of places, I would think, just from, like I said, the way he sees the game, the way he, has the relationships with these players, he's always good at that stuff, right? He's actually great at that stuff. And I think, JJ Redick could be one of the young phenom guru type coaches in this league, but I just don't see it as a good plan for the Lakers. The last thing you need is more scrutiny and more extra, noise from the media, the fans, and just everybody when you're a Lakers coach, right? And a Lakers team that's trying to overcome the Western Conference, right? That's the last thing you need. The Lakers are always going to have those situations regardless of what they do. If they're perfect, know, everybody on the team's perfect. They'd never lose a game. The media will still find something to pick at them for, you know, add some extra, you know, off-court attention to. And it's just, you know, so the last thing you need is something like that to be going down when you're trying to just win basketball games, right? And so I don't know who the Lakers' next head coach should be, but I don't think it should be JJ Redick. I think he should wait for a great situation to open up and then take over, right? People are talking about him in Detroit, how Detroit's, you know, looking to pursue him. Maybe there's been reports of that, speculation, rumors, stuff like that. But I think that would be a little bit better of a situation for JJ to start his head coaching career at, just because of the expectations that would come with that. It wouldn't be so big the first couple of years. He could get his feet under him, you know what I mean? And like I said, this is a guy that has played I believe a 14-year NBA career or so he's definitely familiar with the NBA dynamic and, you know, coaching dynamics and stuff like that. And I think he has all the tools to be able to become a great coach. But I just think that's the type of situation that maybe he could excel at a little more, especially early in his career if he wants to get off on the right foot. It might not be as exciting, you know what I mean? But I think it is just the right call to not hire JJ Redick if you're the Lakers. Now, there's already been reports that that's going to happen. I don't, you know, they're not confirmed or anything. They're just rumors. I think Jay Williams leaked something or I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section. This one I want to hear your guys' thoughts on, because like I said, I'm a little bit conflicted on this. Do you think JJ Redick will make a great NBA head coach? Let me know down in the comments. Do you think he's the right guy for the Lakers job? I would imagine a lot of you guys would probably say no because of that, you know, conflict of interest with LeBron. And I don't know, man, it's a weird situation. On one hand, I think, you know, maybe that shouldn't matter, or maybe that might not matter, or, you know, it doesn't matter. But then I think, you know, of course that's going to play into it, right? So I think it's hard to, you know, be in a position of authority or, you know, be a leader or something like that when you have such close ties to certain players on the team. It can, you know, just add a whole new level of dynamic that you don't need on a team that's already trying to win a championship, right? You're just trying to win basketball games and then you bring extra stuff in. It just never goes well. And the first year head coach thing as well. I don't know. I just think it's kind of a bad move if they try to do that. I hope I'm wrong, right? I want LeBron to win, but who knows if LeBron's even going to be there next season? There's so many questions. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to hear them. Drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. We upload content just like this every single day on the channel. All things NBA every day here on the Dehave channel. Who knows? Maybe, you know, in the next video we could be covering your favorite team, or, you know, something you really are passionate about. You know, I'm just a passionate NBA fan. I'm not an expert or anything like that. I would never claim to be that. A lot of you guys in the comments are a lot smarter than me a lot of times. So definitely, you know, feedback's always appreciated. I can always learn things from you guys. I always do. And so, you know, hopefully you guys, make sure you guys let me know what you feel about this situation. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Free agency, off season, draft, trades, Summer Olympics, you know, big moves coming up. We're going to be covering it every day on the channel. Don't want you guys to miss it. I want to share it with you guys, right? It's going to be so exciting. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is your boy Dehave, and as always, peace.